Hey guys, it's Peter Cunha, your New Jersey real estate giant, broker, owner of Open Doors, doing my weekly update with.
What's up, Pete? David Baum, Cross Country Mortgage. Happy New Year, everybody, and happy belated birthday to you, Peter.
Hey, the big 5-0, baby.
That's right. 50's the new 40.
50's
What
the
are
new
you
40.
what are you gonna do this year to turn the clocks back 10 years?
I got to tell you, it's we did this exercise of looking back 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What was completely off your radar, right? 10 years ago, I just got married. That having a child, having an investment property in Portugal, like, all that stuff was like so foreign. Owning a brokerage, right?
Yeah.
Like, like I was so used to working for the man, that, I realize I'm still working for the man. He just happens to be Peter Cunha at this point. So or the IRS. So I appreciate you doing that. Is there anything off the top of your head from 10 years ago that you're currently doing that just completely wasn't even on the radar? Like, everybody's always talking about health, money, profession, whatever. But like, is there anything personally that, you have now that you didn't even wasn't even a pie in the sky sort of thing?
Yeah. No, gosh. I know 6 years ago when I turned 40, I was just like, you know what, I got to get my health back. I've tried to turn the clock back from 40 to 30. I'd say the last couple of years, I mean, you know, just going to the gym at it pretty hard and really, making some changes in the lifestyle, I guess, definitely helped. And, you got to get through your 40s to get to the 50s, and there's unfortunately a lot of people, unexpectedly may not even make it out of there. So, there's a lot, the body changes in your 40s, right? You gotta battle through it in lots of different ways, to get through it. So,
Right.
but this year, 2023, new year, new you. I am doing a challenge at the gym starting this week where I certainly encourage everybody at least to try and at least get in 10,000 steps a day, get moving, keep it moving. Doing a little bit of, nutrition and some other things at the gym for a contest and trying to do a little body recomposition, and get in better shape again for this year and just mentally preparing for the battle of 2023 business that we are entering day 3 of 365, right? What are we going to do differently in 2023, to have a better year ahead? Obviously, last year was extremely challenging and difficult, with things that were out of our control, right? So this year, with still unknown and uncertainty and some of the things, what are we going to do, or what are you going to look to do potentially from a resolution perspective or focus on that we can, stay focused and grow our business through the challenging markets and, and educate, the people out there to, to be ready and prepare to buy.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point because, from my perspective, it's just like it's becoming more challenging, but I think that that's where we thrive. If anything, I was having coffee with somebody this morning, and they're like, there used to be times where they would throw some business to somebody just because they wanted to give them business, and the market just kind of spoke for itself to an extent, saying
Mhm.
that all you have to do is put a for sale sign on their front yard, and chances are that they would have gotten some offer. Not, price, is always kind of the one issue that, is always kind of, I always say I can always sell a house. The number that I get is going to be dictated by the market, right? And marketing strategies, right? But now even people are like, playing a little bit closer to the vest, right? It's kind of, think of a basketball game when you get down to the last 2 minutes, you don't put your 12th guy, on the floor just because you need some playing time. You got your starters out there and they're in for the long haul, right? Like you
Mhm.
want your best players out on the field. And that's what I think of this market right now. I mean, there's going to be transactions. Sure, the transaction count's going to be down, but at the end of the day, if you're a buyer or seller and you're watching this video, like this means nothing to you, right? Like you want a great lender. There you go, David Baum, right? You want a great realtor, that's me, Pete Cunha, right? And then you want a great attorney to protect you, and that, we have a stable of, rock star attorneys that'll get us to the finish line on things.
Mhm.
So I'm optimistic, man, because I'm getting a lot more. It's only the third day of the year. Yesterday was my birthday, and I think I've already gotten 3 referrals. So at this rate, I should be doing what, 352 deals, or take away back out 2 weeks of vacation or something like that. So it's gonna be a real fun year. And again, I think what we're doing with these market updates is also, just kind of keeping our hands on the pulse of this market. And we started this call with New Year's resolutions, right? So 3 topics that we kind of agreed on was a lot of people that are renting, they want to be first time home buyers, right?
Mhm.
What programs do you offer that?
So, yeah, I mean, so first time home buyers typically, in some areas, not just from a veteran perspective, but they may be eligible for a 0% down, USDA 30-year fixed mortgage, right? It's from a rural perspective. We'd have to look and see if a property or town's eligible. But there's also 3% and 3.5% down programs available, for minimum down payments that are out there. For people that are within possibly a certain percentage of area median income. There may be some benefits to them if they're trying to purchase in certain areas. They may be eligible for reduced mortgage insurance programs or different programs of that nature. People may be eligible for grants to potentially get 10 or 15 grand towards down payment or closing costs. There are stipulations to that if you're going certain grants, so we'd have to talk about that a lot further. But for the most part, there's plenty of programs out there, and you don't just have to have fantastic credit. Obviously, average credit. There's minimum credit scores, but in essence, FHA, we go down, 580 and up. If you're less than 580 credit score, you might need 10% down of your own money. But there's no potential. We're here to help out as many people as possible. Let's
Right.
look at that way.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the question that I always ask. Everybody throws out interest rates. Yeah, they're higher than they were when we started last year, right? But if you're renting, and those numbers, I mean, I wish I could pull up a chart right now. What people are paying on rent, that's like 100% kind of interest rate right now. And I know a lot of people that are spending, $3,000 plus, and they're just pissing their money away. And it's like, we can get them into a house. And, historically, even if the market turned, within 5 years, we're going to be right back. And, people are staying in their houses a lot longer now. It used to be the trend was it was going down, and, like the millennials were looking to move like every 5 years, where historically it's somewhere between 7 and 10. And
Mhm.
people are just lucky to find a house at this point because there's no inventory. Which kind of leads me to the second part of this. Talking to my kind of sphere of people is another goal is to own an investment property
Sure.
because they've bought their house. They're no longer first time home buyers, and they just want to buy a house that they know that they can rent out, and it'll subsidize part of their, it's a passive way to get a revenue stream, and just kind of help out with kind of what their goal is. And what I love is kind of with, I think you and I both have a background in finance. It's we're trying to build generational wealth, right?
Mhm.
So there's a lot of programs. I think I asked you last week was, what is it, the 203K loans, how much money down,
Oh,
and
for renovation, rehab type things. So
and
for
not
a primary,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's so many different types of things that are out there. But from a perspective, you're talking about investment properties, right? So a lot of people that might have bought a townhouse hypothetically as their first home, sometimes they may uh, go buy another house as their new primary and rent out what they currently have potentially as an option. or if people are looking to go out there and purchase, there's plenty of investment property, programs out there. There's traditional financing and there's non-traditional financing. A lot of the people out there right now, especially the self-employed, it's tax time. They may or may not be eligible, how they file their taxes for their business and things of that nature for traditional financing. So we have some non-traditional, they're called non-QM type products, like business bank statement, personal bank statement programs, 1099 programs, investor cash flow, which is just rent roll versus a mortgage payment. Is it positive or is it not? Right? A lot of those things that are out there that are bringing more buyers to the buyer pool. And it's just, it opens up the doors for people with other financing available. It may not be an A plus, loan, but a B plus, A minus is better than a C, D, or F, like hard money or something like that, right? So there's just different products out there for everybody. And it's whatever people can qualify for, obviously, that has the best terms. That's what they're going to go with, obviously.
Right. And this is the whole other thing is setting up, like, I get a lot of phone calls. Hey, listen, I want to start investing in real estate. Okay, what does that mean? What's your ultimately your goal? Like the way it was always broke down to me is how much money do you need to make per month to carry your upkeep? And then you divide kind of that number by what you expect your monthly profit to be on each individual property. And that's how we kind of back into what your goal should be. Because we all want passive income. I mean, let's not lie. Stock market's taken a beating last year or so. So stuff that historically has been, what people have set aside for the retirement accounts, aren't there anymore. But the real estate market, at least in New Jersey, is holding strong. So at least Monmouth County, Ocean County, Middlesex County, we haven't seen a decline yet. So it's always the argument. Everybody reads the headline. Hey, this guy Jamie Dimon says that we're going to go into a bloodbath. Who am I to argue with Jamie Dimon when
Right.
he's right? Because there's parts of like Boise, Idaho, or San Jose, California, that he's right. But then you look at places like Nashville, and those places are booming. So that kind of leads me to point number 3, and I think this is a good kind of segue. I'm hearing a lot of people that just they're looking to retire or move out of state and do stuff, right? I mean, are you licensed in different states? And I'll go into kind of my ecosystem of realtors that is certainly covers the US nationally, but also has international ties. So, can you help people that are saying moving to Myrtle Beach or Orlando, Florida, let's say?
Yeah. So cross country mortgage, we're licensed in every state. Me personally, my branch, I'm licensed in 7 states. So we can help fit a loan in any state. My branch can technically handle me. I'm licensed in New Jersey, New York, Florida, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina. And, and that list is growing as we help more people out. But, we've helped, and the company itself has written loans for, some of our clients in different states. Obviously I can't write that loan technically since I'm not licensed there, but we have a referral desk that can handle that.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. I mean, it's I've moved so many people down to Florida, right?
Mhm.
Florida, they can close in 3 weeks, 2 weeks if they're ready to go. And it's like, here in Monmouth County, if you're using an attorney, I mean, we can close in 30 days. We could close in 3 weeks, but historically it's what, 45 days,
30, 45. Yeah, I mean, we're ready in 21 usually, but not everyone might be ready in that perspective. So, that 30 to 45 is usually gives enough time for it's not a rush, but it's not,
yeah.
too slow of a process. 60 days, you should be clear to close 2+ weeks early,
Things that people have to consider is like, hey, listen, you're gonna make an offer on a house. You have to go through attorney review, then you go through the inspection phase, and then you gotta,
Mhm.
get the clear to close from you, and then and then you finally close after you do the walkthrough, etc. It's it's different in different areas. I know a lot of people move down to where we're at from, say, Staten Island and Brooklyn, right?
Mhm.
Where a transaction is historically 60 days. So trying to time all these things, I can't tell you how many times realtors in Florida are like, what's taking so long? And I'm like, we're flying right now. This is actually pretty fast from our perspective, but when you're relocating somebody out of state or even overseas, it's a process, and you really need to have a lot of communication to time it just right and kind of set people's expectations. So,
Mhm.
I know we've moved a few people.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're happy to help, and not just obviously here in Jersey. We can certainly help people out in other states if they're looking to get out of the Garden State, you know,
I would
and
not.
go to the Sunshine State, because there's not so much sunshine outside now. But it was great that it was 60 degrees in 2023 already.
Yeah,
When it was -17 with the wind chill about a week and a half ago. So I'll take this weather. I'm not going to complain.
yeah. No, albeit we're beginning of January, and I actually had coffee with somebody outside today. A little chilly, but we got through it, and it was fun. So, Dave, listen, man, I appreciate everything that you've done for me in 2022. Kind of doing these weekly updates really, keeps my craft really sharp.
Hmm.
And I'm looking forward to a prosperous 2023.
Most
Happy New Year
definitely.
to you and your family and the team and everybody. So.
Yeah. Happy, healthy, and prosperous 2023 and beyond for all. And we're happy to help. Anyone wants any mortgage advice, wants to chat, hit me up 732-853-4969 or david.baum. It's david.baum at ccm.com
And
to
all
help
the
you out.
contact information will be listed below on the YouTube channel. And this is Peter Cunha, broker owner of Open Doors Realty here in Middletown, New Jersey. Appreciate you guys watching, and to everybody that's out there, happy 2023.
Happy New Year, everybody.